So, the UK is a political disaster. 14 years of being dragged down by Tory rule, austerity, Brexit, cost of living crisis, the Johnson years. Glad I'd left the country before that happened. But then, in 2024, in comes Labour, and a hopeful mood seems to sweep the country for about 10 minutes before those race riots kicked off. Well, what have the British people been treated to in the last year or so? The charismaless void that is Keir Starmer, along with the incompetence and the humorless authoritarians he surrounds himself with, have epically dropped the ball. A golden chance to change the country for the better has clearly been squandered. It's gaffe after mistake after fuck up after U-turn, and it's pretty clear already, that electorally speaking, they're fucked. Labour are fucked. It appears that Reform UK have a decent chance, better than a decent chance, of forming the next government. There's a big reshuffle going on right now in government, for what it's worth. But it's obvious that Labour is a divided party, a sinking ship. If you're led by the likes of Starmer, Yvette Cooper, and Rachel Reeves, how could it be anything other than that, My political inclination is left, so I'd be inclined to support the Corbyn-Sultana group if I were living in the UK, but I don't see this outfit having much success electorally. I'm not optimistic. As far as the Conservatives go, the Tories are looking like they might be finished. They're not viewed as the actual opposition anymore by many. So, the prospect of a Nigel Farage-led government, this horrible little toady demagogue posing as a man of the people. Total charlatan, but undeniably charismatic and quite the showman. If he does become PM, I would say legacy media in Britain will be significantly responsible and partly to blame for what he would do. He makes no secret of it. He wants to get rid of the most basic of human rights, as spelled out in the ECHR, rights that protect people from tyrannical government. Him and his supporters basically want to gut the UK, I think, gut its constitution for what it is. And yeah, they want to get rid of the Good Friday Agreement, which would be so dangerous. They want to roll back devolution and get rid of a whole bunch of fundamental rights that don't sit well with reactionaries and racists who dare to call themselves patriots. It's a shit show. Britain is a fading country with delusions of relevance lurching from one political disaster project to the next. The UK is a representative democracy, but one has to ask, who represents the people really? Private school mafia? Special interest groups? The Westminster elite? Our leaders are far from the best among us, and I can't see any short to medium term chance of any of this getting any better, of any significant changes happening for the better. I was hoping for some genuine reform in the direction of actual progress, like bringing in proportional representation. So the people might have a system that, you know, offers some objective fairness in terms of reflecting the will of the electorate. And maybe while we're at it, let's get rid of the House of Lords and replace it with an elected Senate. There's two moves that would surely strengthen our democracy. But Labour are weak, and it's a party led by incompetent and nasty pieces of work at the top. But with Reform UK, it could get a lot worse for working class people, get a lot worse for the backbone of Britain. I have to ask the question, what is Farage really offering you? A privatised NHS, massive welfare cuts, a whole host of rights won by the struggle of our people in the Second World War, being binned off in exchange for a so-called British Bill of Rights, which would be no more than a list of privileges which could be withdrawn by those in power as they see fit. Privileges aren't rights. You really think that mass deportations and putting flags up everywhere is going to make Britain great again? Fucking delusional. Sad. They could in truth take over the country with 30% of the vote. Less than a third of the electorate could give them all of the power. And if you're part of the 60 or 70% of the population who are broadly in favour of little things like rights on the basis of being human, or, you know, having a functional and fair democracy, well, I guess you can just go and kick dirt or pound sand when Nige walks into the top job. Nothing's written in stone, of course. Things can change. Sometimes things can change very quickly. But it all appears rather grim, doesn't it, at the time of speaking. That's all I got for you, folks. Peace.